Great Britain then, one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship, extends that record further for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6-mile-long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and Copse flat out. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who will start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Bottas, Pierre Gasly and Hamilton, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Norris and Kevin Magnussen, Armstrong, Oscar Piastri, Liam Lawson and Teo Pourchaire, Ricciardo, Doohan, Red and Ayumu Iwasa, Perez and Felipe Drugovich. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. with that. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. And gap to the car in front is 2.3 seconds. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the British Grand Prix. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everyone played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the Drivers' Table. George Russell takes the lead in the Drivers' Championship after today's superb result. Some amazing talent out there on track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Red. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way towards the top. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Gasly, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Perez and Lando Norris, Teo Porcher, Armstrong, Kevin Magnussen and Ricciardo, Red, Liam Lawson, Jack Doohan and Felipe Drugovich, Iwasa and Oscar Piastri. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Green flags. Green flag. Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Lando's in the pits. Lando in the pits. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. That's a positive result for George Russell, who further solidifies his position at the top of the standings. Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, that wraps up sprint. All that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of Formula One action. We don't expect too many retirements at this circuit. There are plenty of current and former drivers with flawless finish rates here, in particular Ralf Schumacher, who made it across the line in all 10 of his Hungarian Grand Prix starts. We're northeast of Budapest for the race today then at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position. with Pierre Gasly alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Sergio Perez and Liam Lawson, Armstrong, Teo Porcher, Fernando Alonso and Red, Oscar Piastri, Drugovich, Valtteri Bottas and Magnussen, Iwasa, Doohan, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Norris and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And joining me again for the race today, Natalie Pinkham. Let's start by getting your take on Daniel Ricciardo. They've got that grid penalty to worry about, of course, which puts them on the back foot from the get-go.
Yes, that's not the position you want to be in at the start of the Grand Prix. Penalties like this put you in amongst the traffic. But we know they have more pace than those around them, so I do expect they'll make strong progress in the first few laps.
That's not possible.
All right, let's focus now for the rest of the race. Overtake and burn off some of this energy. Right, you're coming up to one of the Aston Martins now. That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. Look after these tyres now, you want to finish the race on this compound. OK, we can take you this lap. Now let's get some heat into those tyres.
Smiles at the factory after that one. A great race and a real team performance to take victory here in Hungary. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we could talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those that we've witnessed today.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. That's a positive result for George Russell, who further solidifies his position at the top of the standings. Let's focus on driver of the day, Natalie Pinkham. Come on, who do you pick?
That's got to be the Flying Finn. Wait, how many Flying Finns have we got now? Anyway, I'm talking about Bottas this time. Just great raw speed and a good job in the traffic as well.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Alpine move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who's joined us, and we'll see you for the next one. We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of them to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track is a great one for fans of pure speed, and the average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles an hour. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. What a great lap from Alexander Albon yesterday. He'll start from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Russell, Valtteri Bottas, and Fernando Alonso. Gasly, Liam Lawson, Hamilton, and Sergio Perez. Magnussen, Red, Lando Norris, Iwasa, Teo Porcher, Drugovich, Jack Doohan, and Daniel Ricciardo, Oscar Piastri, and Marcus Armstrong. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And with me, as usual, is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Try to keep up this momentum. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 1.5 seconds. Nice move, good job. Okay, clear. Lando's coming in for his stop now. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more. Manoeuvre, you made it look so easy. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Many doubted whether they could pull off the win here at Spa-Francorchamps, but they've done so in spectacular style. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. So let's review the drivers' standings. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Red. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix once again here at the beloved and iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. With the lowest downforce and drag of any circuit in the season, expect to see drivers making the most of the slipstream effect here today. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around the curve of Michele Alboreto. That is the Parabolica to you and I, and the last, most demanding of the track's 11 corners. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Pierre Gasly, and Bottas, Hamilton, Norris, Iwata, and Marcus Armstrong, Perez, Magnussen, Alex Albon, and Drugovich, Ricciardo, Teo Porcher, Jack Doohan, and Red, Oscar Piastri, and Liam Lawson. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And with me, as usual, is Anthony Davidson. Now, let's kick off our conversation with Alexander Albon. Looks as if they have a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the grid.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
You can win that place back. The rain's getting lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out. It's hard to say if inters or wets are better right now. Inters and wets will probably have very similar pace at the moment. Lando in the pits. into P8. You've taken P8. Fastest tyre for now. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Here we are then, it's a thoroughly deserved win here in Italy after another excellent Grand Prix. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. So let's review the updated drivers' standings. That's a positive result for George Russell, who further solidifies his position at the top of the standings. Some amazing talent out there on track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Red. They pushed and pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, AlphaTauri's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. Well, that certainly was an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
OK, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.